All right. Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? Hope y'all are doing well. We will do a quick roll call. We got Lynn Holt, Bald and Curious, Mike High, IBG, CZ Shadow 2, Dennis Buckner, Dirt Track, Clyde Cumberland, Rich B. Yes, hello, Gun Nation. And Bald and Curious is asking how the job's going. We will get into that in just a second. And then also I've got something to share with y'all that's pretty crazy. But you'll see the title of this chat is "Drinking from a Fire Hose." So, and we'll get into that in a minute. But definitely wanted to let everybody jump in here and got a little drink this evening. Cheers to everyone. First one since last Wednesday. So I don't drink a lot, but when I do, I like to enjoy it. Hello, Brian. Hello, Floridian. Lake Ozark guy. How are y'all? So, also, what I wanted to ask is on my channel, as far as gun comparisons, anything like that, I want y'all to leave some ideas of what y'all want to see. And we will get into it. Also, I haven't officially started traveling, like, on the road and everything. So, the Big J Pit Stop channel, I will be putting some stuff over there as soon as I get more out and about. As far as going to some cool places. I don't know if y'all check out the community, but I did go to a restoration shop for antique cars or for classic cars. I saw some beautiful, beautiful cars. A bunch of GTOs, Chevelles, uh, Nova 2s. Um, Gosh, what else was there? Custom Camaros. Had a Superbird, Super B, Roadrunner, GT, an actual AC Cobra, a real one, not a replica. This was a real AC Cobra. They're going to completely ground off, restore it. As it sits right now, unrestored, it's all numbers matching car. It's worth over $1 million right now, and it's not even restored. Um, Saw a old Bronco that has been completely modernized. It's awesome. There's pictures that I put up on that. Some custom C10 trucks, K5 Blazers, um, a couple of other Broncos. I mean, this place has a lot. It's located in Fort Worth. Um, awesome place, awesome people. So did get to get the tour there. They do full upholstery there, full ground up restorations, paint, body, everything. They're kind of a one stop shop, but it was super impressive. Um, really, really, really enjoyed it a lot. Where's the rifle and tripod? Didn't want to put it up this evening, so we'll do it another time. I've been so busy, and we'll get into that in just a second. Paul says I drink a lot and I do enjoy it. Hello, A Dubs. How are you? Let's see. Hello, Brian. How are you? Yeah, Lynn Holt says that Bronco, the green one. Yeah, that thing was awesome, and that's a very unique color. I was asking him what color it was, and the way he was describing it is kind of like a khaki green. It's not really an olive drab, but man, that thing is sweet. Oh, bald, 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 bald. I think you know me way better than that. I think you know me way better than that. We won't even bring up that if I say that word or those words. I'll probably get demonetized or kicked off. Let's see here. Brian, it is the pretty much the same stuff I was doing before. It has to do with automotive, so I'll kind of give it that to it, and that's one of the reasons I visited that shop. Let's see here. Sure, you're selling something as what you're a salesman. Yes, I am in sales. Yes, sales, training, things like that. Um, what I was meaning by tonight's title, "Drinking from a Fire Hose." Okay, I was with my last company for 15 years. Y'all dedicated subscribers know all that, family members. Um, and of course, this is a new company and everything. And what I mean by drinking from a fire hose, and we've all probably done it with, specs and all of this and this new system. It's a whole new computer setup, whole new reporting system, whole new processes, whole new everything. So it's like, getting all this information. Of course, I just started Monday. Today's Wednesday, but it's just an overload of information. So I'm just taking it all in, absorbing it. And it's honestly like trying to drink from a fire hose. It's just a lot of information. Not that I can't handle it. It's just, wow, note taking, just trying to make sure, because in business, I'm always trying to be somewhat of a perfectionist, so to say. Um, y'all don't know all the background, but I've won many awards and all that. I'm not bragging or patting myself on the back, but I really pride myself in being the best I can be. I always have been as far as sales and work and things like that. And it's just, you know, literally turning on the spigot and, trying to take it all in. So, and of course, once I settle in, once I get everything locked in, get my repetition down, it's probably going to be cake. It's just these days have just been a ton of information. Monday was major overload. Tuesday was overload. Today, it's getting better. And that's what I'm saying. It's only the third day. So nothing I can't handle, but it is a lot of information. Hello, DB. How are you? Let's see here. Brian is saying I drink from a fire hose, and that's what my company does to see if you can handle it all. Exactly. And in the past, I've given guys objectives and things like that, drinking from the fire hose and just to see how much they can handle, how much they can bite off, or how much they can chew, um, or how much they can inhale until they pop. So it's kind of a fact. And of course, it's limited time. Um, been working with the guy, trying to get me up to speed super quickly. Really nice guy, um, good at what he does. So I appreciate him. So it's just a lot, but we'll press on. And, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. And, that's as far as, I was kind of relating it to other things. People getting into guns, like new into guns. It's kind of like turning on a fire hose and going, oh my gosh, there's so many options. There's so many specs. There's so many this. There's all this different ammo, all this different gear, all these different holsters, different belts. It's just when they're taking it all in after they get their LTC or they start carrying, with constitutional carry. It's just there's so much information. Some people can become overwhelmed. And then you've got pistols, rifles, PDWs. There's just so much stuff. And of course, when you get into that hobby, it's learning more and more about different types, Browning actions, blowback. I mean, it's just overwhelming. So, I've talked to several people that were new into guns, and then you give them more information, and they're just like, whoa, 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 slow down, let me kind of take all this in. And in business, hobbies, whatever it is, you can be overloaded. So, but nothing we can't handle, and we will press on. All right. Brian is saying, find a young trainee and ask them for help. They will and will appreciate that you even ask. Yes, I mean, I can tell this person is really appreciative of me, and I've given him some tips. It's we're just sharing information, and that's a great thing. So, Brian is saying, good evening. With this evening's title of the show, I don't recommend it. I drive a fire engine. Yeah, no, I wasn't meaning literally, Brian. Yes, PSI will do some damage. Don't drink out of the car wash hose either. But yeah, you don't want to. I was a volunteer fireman way back when I was young and in high school. And so, yes, I've played with some fire hoses. And I don't know what pump or what setup you have. This was a smaller truck. It wasn't the big, big, big boys, like probably what you're used to. Floridian is saying a lot of that around sales prospecting software. Yeah. Hello, Dubai. How are you? Or Doobie? You hope you're doing well. But that's kind of what I was meaning by drinking from a fire hose. The new job is going well. For those who have asked, it's like I said, just a lot of information, trying to take it all, Uh, it is a corporate gig, so there's like a lot of test that you take. It's not any big deal. It's just, there's just a lot of like uh, procedures and policies and things like that. So they have a lot of testing, or you basically take modules, and then there's like little quizzes at the end. It's not that big of a deal. It's just a lot of that stuff for every new hire that the company wants done. Got the phone ordered today, so we'll have a company phone. Credit cards on the way. Vehicle is coming soon. As of right now, I'm in my own. Um, but there's some things that are coming. So let's see here. How about when an org rolls out the next greatest software platform for everyone to use? Don't click in with the end users, and you'll find out if it really does add anything better, but adds more steps. Yeah, and this is a lot of steps, but like I said, it's new. So yep, HR training. I've already been through that. So anyway, like I said, it'll all not a big deal, but and then also did don't know, and y'all let me know. Are any of y'all subscribed to Donut Operator? Just say yes, no, anything like that. Donut Operator on YouTube. If you are not, he has posted a video to about one of our brothers. If y'all don't know, and he's been on the chat before, I know him personally. Super nice guy. Um, I texted him and told him, glad he's okay and all that. However, he, if y'all haven't seen it, it's Tactical Considerations. If you don't know what he does, he has his YouTube channel, of course. He is in law enforcement, and you can watch the video. It kind of shows real world stuff that can happen. Um, there's someone breaking into a home. They go to take care of it, and tactical considerations has to do something that none of us want to do. But anyway, it's in the video. I don't, like I said, I don't want to speak for him. I just reached out to him after I saw it to make sure he was okay, and or let him know that I'm glad he is okay. And if I know he's going to have some, when something like that happens, or if we ever had to do it, it's probably going to be something that, you know, it's going to affect you. So, if y'all are subscribed to him, you just might reach out, tell him you're thinking about him, things like that. So anything, that could happen to any of us. But of course, he's in law enforcement. So anyway, I'm just glad he's okay. Glad his partner is okay. You know, all of that. So I don't really want to get into the video. Y'all can go watch it on Donut Operator's channel. So yeah, he definitely took him down. So, but anyway, all right. So a lot of people are subscribed. Okay, and it looks like some people have already seen it. So yeah, he gave him so many warnings, and stuff happens. So, but like I said, I'm not trying to push a video. I'm just trying to say things can happen, and it can happen even to us as carriers. So just be aware. But and then as far as any new products or anything like that, I've had some people reach out saying, "Hey, what are you going to be reviewing?" I do have a new belt that's going to be coming in. If y'all know, I wear gun belts every day for EDC. I have several battle belts, Core, Blue Alpha. I've worked with those companies for quite a while. I do have, and I'll just go ahead and tell you, I do have the new Blue Alpha Battle Belt Light. This is their newest version. I've got it being built. They actually make them for you, so they're not just pumped out of, like, hey, here's this size or that. So when you order it, it's actually custom made for you. So I will be testing that out. With the new gig, it is a Monday through Friday Pretty, you know, I guess you could say, really no downtime, but I will be, doing some shooting and stuff on the weekends and testing product. And of course, with some of this stuff, I can put it on. I mean, my backyard's right back. Y'all can't see it, but it's right out there. I dry fire. I put targets. So I've got them back here, the cardboard targets, USPSA targets. I'll put them on my far back fence, and I'll put my battle belt on out there and just go out there and dry fire in the backyard. I'll do it at night too with my lights and check, kicking lights on and stuff. I'm not doing live fire, but I do a lot of that in the backyard because it's just such a big area. In here, or in your home, I have the small silhouettes too, from Ben Steger. Y'all probably, I know Bald and a bunch of other people have those, but I do the larger ones and I'll move them around on the fence. You know, like no shoots. I have some that are white, some that are manila color, but I'll do that. So I will do some dry fire on it. Then I'll take it to the range, put it on, and do some draws from it and stuff like that so I can check it, see what I think about it. And I'm going to be putting a bunch of gear on it, moving some of the stuff from my old Blue Alpha Gear battle belt over, as far as my mag pouches, tacos, holster, med kits, all of that other stuff. Be moving a lot of it over to hang on the new belt for testing it so I can test it with a lot of heavy gear on it. I will run some AR-15 mags from it as well. Holders. I've got the Harry's holster. If y'all don't know, Harry actually makes really nice AR-15 mag holders, and you can actually adjust them to your cant that you choose. So you can run them in the front, you can run them on the side and angle them. You can do some really cool stuff, but I'll be putting a bunch of stuff on it and running it, checking it out. But yeah, Brian, that's what I told him. I said, man, blessed, and I'm thinking about him. So if anybody reached out to him, just let him know that you're thinking about him, and because that would be a difficult thing for anybody. Even though he warned him many, many times, he did what he had to do. Yeah, good deal, Rusty, man. That's good. Taylor saying, do you plan on buying more silencers? Q is coming out with a whole steel line. Honestly, not right now. The suppressors that I have, I really like, and I have the Q Trash Panda, and man, it's the titanium version works really, 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 really well. Really enjoy it. Haven't had one problem with it. Even as far as discoloring, no issues. I mean, the thing sounds great. I've got the 22 dead air mask. I really wanted the El Camino, the 22 El Camino. They just didn't have it in stock at the time that I purchased my dead air. So I did buy the mask, and I like it. There's just some things about it I don't like. I've talked about it in other videos. But like I said, so far so good. And I really don't, I don't really, I don't have small PDW 9mm. I do have a PCC 9mm, but it's the 16-inch version. So really don't want to run it suppressed because that would make it even longer. And 9mm can, or even a 45 can on a 9mm pistol or a 45 pistol, that's cool for some people. This doesn't do much for me. I really prefer a 22 can on a pistol. For a 22 pistol, of course, that's fun, or on a 22 rifle. But I prefer a 30 cal can and a 22 can. So other than that, I've got my bases covered because the 30 cal will work on my 5.56. It'll work on my 300 blackout. It'll work on my 308s. The 22 can will work on 22, 5.7, 22 mag, 17 HMR. So I'm pretty covered. And I have a bunch of the cherry bombs on all of a bunch of my rifles, so I can move the can around, and it's pretty quick taper mount. So, I don't really need it, honestly. Not saying I won't ever, just right now, I don't need one. What's the best way to send him a message? We care what he's been through. I would probably reach out to him. I mean, a lot of y'all have Instagram. I don't have Instagram. I would reach out to him on Instagram, or if you go over to his channel, I think he has a link that will take you over to like his link tree or something like that. So you could, probably leave him a message on his YouTube or one of the videos. You could leave him a message if you choose to. Um, but probably maybe DM him on Instagram if y'all have Instagram. Um, that's probably going to be the best. I'm not going to give out any of his personal information, of course. CeeLo says, saw a recent TFB TV video and James mentioned he was shown a new CZ handgun while in Europe, but can't say anything until around July. Very interesting. Yes, CZ, I talked about it last week. They do have some new guns. They're not new, but they do have a P10C and a P10F tactical suppressor ready version that will have suppressor sights and threaded barrel and optic ready on both that are coming. There is a new ACO, which is really the CZ Custom coming. I kind of talked about it a little bit, but it's not really that new, honestly. And yes, there is a new gun that's coming, but I don't know what it is. There has been rumors, and I talked to one of the CZ reps a while back, and there's been rumors that they're going to discontinue or potentially discontinue the PO7 and the PO9. And if they do that, I'm wondering if it's going to be maybe like an all aluminum, like an aluminum P10 or maybe like a PO8 or something like that. That might be kind of cool, that's optic ready and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm just guessing. And he said he couldn't talk about it. So I said, okay. But I have no idea what it is. And that's cool if, James got to play with it. But I honestly don't have any idea. I'm just simply guessing. Yeah, and all of my P10Cs, and I have two P10Cs. I've had them milled, and then my P10F was optic ready, but not suppressor or you know thread to barrel and suppressor sight ready. Yeah, Rusty, I'm sure if you leave a message on his last video, he'll probably reach back out. But like I said, he might need some time. I don't know. So if he doesn't get back with you, don't be upset. That's a deal that, you know, he might not want to respond to a bunch of people. I've just known him for quite a while, super nice guy, and or he might answer everybody. I have no idea. Brian is asking, do you see sparks coming from your titanium can? Does it actually touch the components? But most sparks, like hell, no. I mean, sparks. Here's the thing about sparks. You can see sparks coming out without a can or with a can. I don't think it's due to having the can. I've had 300 blackout that have thrown sparks with no can or with a can. It's just kind of not really a spark, but y'all know what I'm talking about. 5.56 is very sparky or flashy. Even I've got slow motion videos where I'm shooting my pistols, my staccatos, and you can see the fireball, and then you can see all these sparks flying out too. So, and nothing's hitting. It's just depending on the ammo and things like that. I don't really think I'm not getting any kind of baffle strikes or anything like that because I would have damage if that was the case. And of course, they're taper mounts, so that's even less reason to have a baffle strike. So, I mean, all my stuff I think is good. I haven't really seen any issues, but I've seen sparking from all kinds of guns, not just from mine, but from other people with cans or no cans. So, I don't think anything's hitting when you see the sparks. Not saying that's impossible, but I haven't seen anything. Say hello. How are you, sir? Is that THLAG? I'm sorry, I will butcher that name, but hello, how are you? CZ needs to make more or some 4.57 mags. I missed it by 2 weeks, so I guess they're out of them. But yeah, I was trying to see if anybody was interested in, or had picked up any of the new guns, like the Smith and Wesson, that 9mm that's kind of like a Keltec that folds in half. I've had a lot of people ask again if I'm going to pick it up. Not really, but I think it's a cool option for somebody who wants a bag gun, and it is a full 16-inch barrel. And of course, it's threaded, so you could put a suppressor on it if you chose to. But myself, I'm not going to get one. But And I have seen those prices come down on them. They were $7.99. I'm seeing them for $5.99 now. But I think the biggest Smith and Wesson mag, I think, is like 26 rounds. So you don't have the 33 like you do on some of the Glocks, which is still a good amount of ammo. But I really wish, and I know they can't because they're Smith and Wesson, but either that or if they come out with a larger mag that would hold even more capacity, that would be cool. And maybe they will. I just haven't seen it yet. And I was even talking to a buddy of mine, and I said, Smith and Wesson is coming out with a folding rifle. Keltec has theirs. I was wondering if even more companies are going to start doing that with this brace thing, whatever, which I still think is going to get shot down. But it is what it is. But I'm wondering if more companies are going to start coming out with folding options. They very well could. I was thinking maybe like Taurus, Glock, things like that. That would be a pretty cool thing for them to jump into. I just don't know if they're going to, but they could. They could. My voice is shot, so sorry about that. Maybe that drink will make it better. Looking for a dot to put on my new Masada Slim. Came optic ready. Would be my first dot. Cool, Floridian. As far as the micro dot, the one that I have personally is the Holosun 507K. Really like it. Great dot. If I had to do it over again, or if I had the option at that time, I probably would have gotten the Holosun EPS Carry, which it isn't enclosed. It's just a smaller enclosed dot. I think that's a really good option. And I've looked through it. I haven't personally shot one, but I've actually picked it up, looked through it, the carry version and the regular version, the EPS Carry, which is the smaller one, and then the full size. They look clear. I mean, look good. And of course, you have different options where you can only have the dot, or you can have the three reticle choices from Holosun. But being a totally closed emitter, I am leaning more towards the totally enclosed emitters. Reason being, I've talked about it before. When you have an open emitter, appendix, or it's your 3 o'clock, outside battle belt, dust, debris, belly lint, anything can get in there. And when you've got it in your holster, it's just kind of like a little catch-all. Everything falls in there. So nothing has fallen in mine that has completely blocked the dot. But, if you go like a week or whatever, and if you're outside in the yard working or whatever, and you're sweating, you're going to get sweat stains on it, things like that. The emitter, the closed, you just wipe the back and you're done. So you can actually do it from a shooting grip. You've got your gun here, you've got your back thumb, and you just simply wipe and you're done. So, that is a really good option. So I'm really enjoying the closed emitters quite a bit. So, yeah, and I did see the new Vortex. I know that those are made in China, but I don't know who's making them, but they do look a lot like some of the other dots, like the Chile and stuff like that, if y'all have seen those. So that might be who's making it for Vortex. Um, I haven't personally seen one in the wild, so I don't know, but I've seen a lot of the videos that came out on it talking about it. So it could be a good option for a lot of people. I personally don't know. So yeah, my 507K is doing really well. Really like it. Scott's saying he likes his. Um, yeah, Lynn, I thought the same thing. Glock come out with a PCC like 5 years from now. Yeah, I said the same thing. I was like, it's probably going to take a while. How are the Vortex dots? I am leaning towards a Holosun. Personally, when one of the first dots I played with was the Vortex, was it the Venom? I can't remember if it was the Venom or the other one, but it was a piece of crap, and I'm just being honest. I mean, you could shake it and it would flicker. It was bad. And this thing was only like 6 months old. It wasn't my gun or my dot, it was someone else's. But I was like, man, this thing's a piece of crap. Humble has a video on his where he was shooting it and it completely went out. Then it would come back on. I'm just not sold. I'm not saying the new Vortex, I'm talking about the early ones. I'm not sold on their dots. I love their scopes. I mean, they make great scopes, and of course, they have a lifetime warranty. But I will say this, and Humble has even said this. a lot of the Vortex shooters who shoot for the Vortex team or use, them in competition, they don't even use those dots. They've blown through a lot of them. So I would just say buyer beware. They do have a lifetime warranty. They will stand behind it, but I don't want to keep changing out dots. That's just my opinion. I do like their warranty, but yeah, Pranic, you're right. All SIG optics are made in China. They do have one. It's not out yet, and it's going to be $1 million, but they do have one that's coming. SIG will have the one that's coming, and it is made in the USA. But, yeah, and that's the thing, with the new Vortex dot, it just released. So there's really not a lot of long time testing behind it. So I don't know. I do know a buddy of mine bought one, so he'll get it put on and start running it to see if he likes it. It might work out great. I don't know. Are you serious? Tucker said the U.S. federal government is going to bail out Moderna because their thing is not selling like they had promised. Your tax dollars at work. Does not surprise me. Does not surprise me. And yeah, Bald, you're almost correct. That is another reason why I tried to go with the Acro, the Aimpoint Acro P2. It's not made in China. Also, the Steiner. It's not made in China. Super good glass on both of those. We know the robustness of the Acro. Steiner has good quality stuff. There is, I'll just say this now, the family members will hear it first before there's a video. I have the Steiner MPS. I've been shooting it for a while. There are some likes and there are some dislikes. So be prepared for that. I don't hold any punches. Y'all know that. I tell you the good and the bad. But there are goods and there are bads. So, and just like the Aimpoint Acro, it's not perfect, but it's pretty damn close to perfect. But hell, your phones, the computer I'm on, your TV, your washer and dryer, your refrigerator, all that shit's not made here. So it is what it is. We want to have everything here, and I try to support everything that I can here, but we can't support everything. Hey, Armsman, how are you? Been a long time, or been a long while. Hope everything is well. Yeah, it works. Like I said, I've talked about it a little bit earlier, but Armsman, I also need to talk to you. And I looked it up on your thing, and I was trying to see if you have a CZ P10C holster with the TLR7A. And I looked on your website, and I didn't see one. But I'm trying to see if you have a holster CZ P10C optic, of course, optic ready, with a wedge and a claw that will take a TLR7A light. So let me know if you do have or you do offer one. So I was checking it out to see if you had one, and I couldn't find it. And maybe you don't. I don't know. Wow, that's Bald said he had a sight mark sight, had to send it in for repair, ended up putting it on a shotgun. And so far so good. Man, shotguns will usually blast some of those things apart. So the XXL Holosun, that is the 507 competition, and I have not seen it in the wild. That was the one that I was really interested in buying. I've got my name on a couple of the list when it comes in to be emailed when it's available. Also, Texas Gun Experience does not have it yet because I wanted to see it in person, but that one looks really promising. So, I think it's going to be a really cool offering. Oh, Armsman's telling us, just got the new Vortex Defender. So this is the new dot we were just talking about. Disappointed with the refresh rate. That is not good. Now, I will ask you this, Armsman, have you checked it outside or only under fluorescent lighting? Because I've had, like in a store, I was playing with one, and inside under the fluorescent lighting, it sucked. I took it outside and it was much better. But that's curious that you're saying that, because refresh can really affect a lot of dots, such as that little one they put on the Springfield. That thing's a piece of shit. I have played with that one and I will not use that one. Will not use it. That fire, whatever it's called, that thing is a piece of crap. And I know a lot of people run it, but man, if you're transitioning like just in a store, you're trying to, I mean, it's bad. Mook is saying switched 507C to Holosun 509T on my C2, and I'm so happy. No need to clean my lens multiple times a day. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about closed emitters. Closed emitters, I'm telling you, in the dot game, closed emitters are the future, the present. I mean, I think a lot of them are going to start going to closed emitters. Floridian, that's a great question. He said he has astigmatism, so would green versus red work best? I have dual stigmatisms, so I have stigmatisms in both eyes, and I have green dots and I have red dots. And in fiber optics, I prefer green. I like green. I pick it up way better than red on my fiber optics. However, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh man, the green's going to be more brilliant. It's going to like work way better for me since I like the green fiber optics better. However, with a dot, honestly, I don't have a favorite. I don't prefer the red over the green or the green over the red. And it might be maybe I'm so used to red. The green is not bad, but honestly, between a red and a green one, I'm kind of leaning towards the red. But I've heard other people with stigmatisms and without say they prefer the green. So what I would do, if you can, I would go into like your local gun store, maybe that offers them, and not just look at them under fluorescent lighting. I would take them outside, turn them all the way up, turn them all the way down, and just see what works best for you. Because I will say this, if you've got a green backing, like, a green grass hill, it is a different color green. So it's more of a fluorescent, and it does stand out, over grass also. But the red seems to dominate on a green grass backing for me. Not that the green's horrible, but the red seems to stand out more and a little better for me. But it's going to be totally up to you and your eyes. We all have differing eyes. Yep, you have to test yourself, Floridian. Green is easier for me, but I don't own any green either. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. And here's where the thing is, of course, Humboldt, he tells you if you don't buy a 6 or an 8, you're an idiot. I mean, of course, we're friends, but he's on the big, he likes the bigger MOA dots, and there's nothing wrong with them. However, here's the thing. I'll just say this, and this is my opinion. Take it for what you will, because I won't ever force anything on anybody. But I have dual stigmatisms. So when I shoot a 6 or a 5, if I need to turn it up a little bit, just for visibility in the sun or whatever, a bright room, or if I'm cranking out a flashlight with 66,000 candela, I need to really crank that, the dot up. So that 5 MOA or 6 MOA will now turn into, I mean, even if I crank it a little bit, it's with my eyes, it's like it's turning into a 12 or a 14. It's crazy. But if I get a 2 MOA, a 3.5 MOA, a smaller dot, and this is not the correct way to do it, okay? You want to keep it as low as you can, less dimness as you can to get a more precise shot. And that's where a lot of people like the bigger dots. But I can actually take the 2 MOA dot, I can crank it up a little bit, and it will bloom. That is not correct. That's not the book correctness. But if I have a small dot, I can always turn up the intensity to make it look bigger. I can't take a big dot and turn it down. It's still going to be a big dot. So That's my preference. I really prefer the 2.5, 3.5 MOA, 4, you know, but anything like I had a 5, I had an SRO 5 MOA, and it just looked too big for my eyes. That's just it. Because when I would send it out 25 yards, where I would have a 2.5 MOA, I could keep it dim and all of that, and it didn't cover up the whole target or my bullseye. But when I have a 6 or a 5 or whatever, it seemed to cover that much of it at 25 yards just with my vision. Maybe not yours, but just with my vision. I have astigmatism as well. Run the 507 with circle dots. Yes, I have it broad enough. Not barely seeing it works for me. Yeah, I mean, and a lot of people like the dot. Some people like the dot with the circle. Some people like the circle without a dot. And Holosun does give you those options. And I really hope that more dot manufacturers will start doing different options and offer different reticles. I really think that Holosun has a good thing there, because I know some people that want the donut of death, even with a pistol. I kind of prefer the dot, but at least you have an option, to be like, this doesn't work for me. I might choose this particular reticle, that reticle, whatever. And the ACSS reticle for the primary arms, has the chevron. So if you don't like a dot, they offer the chevron with the big ring, or you can turn that off. And the chevron is actually, with astigmatism, it's not bad. I mean, it actually worked really well. Armsman said, yes, sir. I have the TLR1, TLR7, TLR8, and X300. Sorry, so busy, haven't updated the site. Cool, man. In my community tab, you've got the my emails in there, or the About tab in YouTube. If you could shoot me a link or whatever, or let me know a price, I'd appreciate it, for the CZP10C appendix with a claw, with a wedge, if you offer it, with the TLR7. That would be great. I'd appreciate that if you can. Bald is saying bigger MOA will always be better for close distance, but depends on your eyesight. Dot might look huge and out of shape, or you can see two of them, and that's true too. Rocket Man's asking, anyone have any experience with the Ameriglow RMR? I personally haven't shot it, but I've played with it. Texas Gun Experience has some. Matter of fact, they have them on sale. They have one that fits a Glock, and they have one that fits a Smith and Wesson. Uh, and they have them on sale. I can't remember the price right off the top of my head, but I think they're kind of closing them out. But I looked through it. I don't think it, and I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. I just don't think it would be anything I would run. I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't have any experience. But looking at it and looking through it, I wasn't super impressed. That's just me. And so here you go. I prefer green because it's much better outdoors. Everybody's going to have a different thing that they like. And it could be, I'm so used to red because I've been shooting red for so long. And the green looks really nice, but it's not enough to say I have to have all green now. That's the only thing I can think of. You happen to see the TFB TV video about the Bull Armory's Cherokee police trade-ins? A great-looking handgun was never available to the American public before at less than $300. I have seen the Bull Armory Cherokee before. I didn't see this video. But yeah, I mean, hell, if that's what you want, grab it. Bald, you hit it right on the head. I told Humble the same thing. I said, if somebody could come out with an adjustable MOA where you could just say, hey, I want a 2, I want a 4, I want a 6, or I want an 8, you could bump up the intensity. And maybe there was another button in the back or hidden somewhere where you could bump up the MOA. They would clean house with that. And that's the same thing I said. I said, man, that would be, you could buy one dot and choose how you want to shoot it that day. If you're shooting a bunch of up close stuff, have a bigger dot, or shooting far away, you have a smaller dot. I think that would be really cool. Yeah. I told him that. I was like, man, that would be awesome. And I think he was like, man, I don't, he's like, I don't know how they could do that. And I'm like, I'm sure somebody can. Hell. See, Pranic says, I heard Humble talk about this in a video of his. You change him. I knew when he talked about it, some came from you. Yeah, I gave him a whole rash of shit. Humble and I are really good friends. We talk quite a bit. But I told him, he's like, if you don't get a big MOA, you're crazy and all this other stuff. And I told him, I said, I guess I'm crazy because, I mean, I run what I'm comfortable with. I don't run what other people tell me to run. Whatever I like, whatever fits my eyes, whatever works for me, that's what I run. I don't buy shit just because people says you got to do this and you got to do that. Y'all should know me by now. I like to get things, test it, may work for me, may not work for me. I might like it. Other people might hate it, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. Let's see. IBG says, concerning 300 Blackout, I have now watched videos from Classic Firearms, Mr. Guns and Gear. Both concluded 300 Blackout has higher velocity and energy out of a 16-inch barrel over shorter barrels. Here's the thing. If you look at Mr. Guns and Gear's whiteboard video, on a 12, like 11 and a half to 12-inch barrel is the sweet spot for a 300 Blackout, like 124, 125 grain. That is the sweet spot. If you actually check that same grain out of a longer barrel, it's not really increasing the velocity and the foot-pounds of energy. So on a 300 Blackout, yes, you can run them short. You could run a 1 in 5 twist, which is perfect if you can get one in a short barrel. However, if you start extending that barrel, you want like a 1 in 7 twist because you are going with a little bit longer barrel. But the sweet spot for me on a 300 Blackout, not just due to my arm length, is a 12 and a half, 11 and a half to 12 and a half 300 Blackout. That is the perfect sweet spot. And I own shorter than that. The shortest I want to have is a 10 and a half, and then I've got a 12 and a half. I don't have any 16s, but here's the thing. If you want to play with that, you can buy a 12 and a half upper, on certain rear attachments. You could have a 12 and a half upper and a 16 and a half upper, and you can check it yourself and see which one you like. On the lower grain velocities, such as 124 grain, 110 grain, 90 grain, 300 Blackout, the 12 and a half is perfect. You start extending that length out even farther to a 16, it does not really increase the velocity. On a heavier bullet, it can stabilize it a little better. Thanks, Arnsman. I appreciate you, buddy. What's up, man? How are you? Adjustable MOA? Yeah, that would be nice. Oh, he's colorblind. Yeah. Yeah, I could understand if you're colorblind. I could see where that would definitely help. Joseph, between the green dot and the red dot, they say the green actually uses more battery. So if you look at all the testing on red dots or dots, they say the green does go through a battery quicker. I don't know. I'm not a red dot or color engineer, so I don't know why. But everybody says, even Hollow Sun and some of these other people say that the green will actually chew up battery, use battery, more battery. So I don't know why though, but I've got green that I've been running, the 508T. It's green. I haven't had any battery problem, but also you've got the shutoff technology, you shake awake. So, it's sitting right there, or one of them is sitting right there. And, when it's sitting there for so long, it just shuts off. And then I've tried to race it. Like, can I pick it up quicker? I'll watch it and I'm like, okay, the dot's off. And I'll just barely touch it and the dot pops right back on. So, I can't beat the shake awake. I don't know anybody that can. if there's people out there, I want to see it because, man, I've tried all of my Shake Awake ones and I can't outrun them. Yeah, exactly, IBG. Um, let's see here. I just watched this whiteboard video and he reported on increase in both on the 16. Okay. I think I think what it was though is it could have been one of them, and that's with 300 blackout being 30 cal and stuff. You've got to look at it. You could get a little more velocity but less foot pounds. I think is what it was, and I was looking for maximum velocity with maximum foot pounds of energy, and I thought it was the 12 and a half, but I could be mistaken. Nobody's perfect, but I mean 12 and a half works great for me. So whatever works for you. What's up, Wheeled and Weld Arm? Hope you've been doing well, sir. Yeah, it has been a long time. I've been super busy here recently. But we've got about 10 more minutes left before Chris will start his chat. I think he's got a chat tonight. I'm pretty sure he does. But anything else y'all can think about? When I get the belt in, I will test it. It's a really cool color. It's a color that I don't have. They're offering new colors in the Blue Alpha Gear battle belts. They're light versions. They've got some new colors like Tropic and stuff like that, but I didn't get the Tropic. I got a color of a different battle belt. That way I'll have 3 battle belts with all different colors. It's a cool color. I really like it. And I have a core belt in that color. So I was like, man, it'd be cool to have a battle belt in that color. So that's the one I ordered. I would think I think it took I think they were running like 2 to 2.5 weeks for them to be made. So maybe they'll be shipping it out this week. So I doubt I'll have it this week, but maybe it'll ship out this week and I'll get it next week. So I will start putting it together and testing it and seeing what I think about it. And of course they're a American-made company, so I always try to support them too. But and I've worked with them in the past. Yeah, Lynn, that would be a great challenge video. Yeah, hell, I might have started something, but I mean, man, if you could pick that thing up, I mean, if you had a way to attach your video to it, I do have another item that's being sent to me that I'm going to be testing. I don't know if I'll just kind of give you some hints. It's not a product that I have seen anybody test, not one person. I haven't seen one person test this. But if it works, it kind of could be, I don't know if you want to say game changer, but it could really be a cool option for the dry fire world. Let's just put it that way. And y'all know that I love the Mantis X. I love this. But this one offers something that I haven't seen before. I mean, I've seen it before, but not in a portable form. Let's put it that way. You can use it on a pistol, a rifle, but I've got to see exactly if it's gimmicky, cheap. I've got to really test it. So, but when I get it in, I'll talk about it. Let's see here. Did you bore sight your first or your dot first? No. I mean, what I do is I put it on my lock grip pistol stands. Y'all have seen those where you can lock the pistol in it. I set it down on the table, and what I'll do is I'll take the dot and line it up kind of with the front sight to get it, either right at the tip of it or move it a little left and right. And I just kind of set it like that. Then I'll go to the range and I sight mine in at 15 yards. That's just kind of my thing. I might send it to 7 just to kind of put it on paper, see where I'm hitting for point of aim, point of impact. And then I'll send it out to 15 to finalize it because I think that, just my opinion, I think that 15 is a happy medium between 7 and 25. So 15 is kind of my sweet spot. And I've heard other big companies talk about 15 yards. I didn't do it because they said that. It's just that was what I picked. And then I watched some of their stuff and they were like, yeah, we recommend 15. So I was like, oh, okay. But not saying they're the end all be all. If you want to do 7, 10, whatever, do what you want to do. But I think 15 is pretty much the sweet spot for me. But orange battle belt, man, if somebody had an orange battle belt, I would have it. Matter of fact, I tried to get that race belt that one that's right there. I tried to get my last USPSA belt in orange, but hell, nobody. They used to make it, but they don't make it in orange anymore. So I wish they did. Not that I really do USPSA anymore. Yeah, I did see the Shake Awake battery cap. I don't have any experience with it, but I think that's awesome, man. A lot of mine um, have like the go betweens on the scopes, like the Vortex Razor. You know, you can go 1 to 2 to 3, and it'll turn on, and then you have half dots in between. So you can just click it back one, it'll shut it off, and then click it on. But it is nice to have the Shake Awake feature. What's up, Red Menace? How are you, man? Yeah, anytime, Floridian, man. It's always good to ask people's opinions. And again, what I recommend is not a fact. It's just what I do. And I'm sure other people are in the same boat. I just think it's good to talk amongst like-minded people to get their opinions. So it's always a good time to share information with people or opinions. Might not be right, might not be what you want to hear, but you know, and we all know opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one. I didn't see Abigail on here. Hope everything's okay. And I do want to say this again. Everyone that was thinking about me when I was off work and praying for me and everything. Again, I just want to tell everyone thank you. That really, really does mean a lot. Um, it was a crummy time. Just dealing with all this shit and trying to approve an offer. I had some offers, but some didn't work out. I didn't accept them, but it just really meant a lot. Everybody asking, hey, everything good? Asking about the job, praying for me and stuff like that. So I do want to really thank y'all for that. And of course for the chats, for coming on and spending some time with me and all your great questions. It's definitely a great friendship with everyone, real family atmosphere, and I appreciate it. So I just really want to let y'all know that. Let's see here. Anyone have any recommendations for an R700 223 optic? R700. Oh, Remington 700. 223 optic. Man, God, there's so many optics out there. And a Remington 700. It depends on, I would say this, it depends on if you're going to put it in a chassis or not. If it's stock on, like a wood stock or something like that, or a polymer stock that it's in now, um, you could probably just get something that that works for it, whatever you feel comfortable with in your price range. Primary Arms has some good stuff, pretty good. The glass isn't the clearest in the world. Vortex, the Vortex Diamondback is actually a really great scope. I own it. I really like it. If you're going to put that R700 in a chassis and you really want to bump it up, I would recommend the Vortex. I could highly recommend those. I've got 3 of them. They're expensive, but it depends on what you want to do with it. It is some of the clearest glass I've ever seen, and of course you can get Night Force. You could go crazy with it. But if you're wanting something really good and basic, Vortex is really hard to beat. Some of the Primary Arms are really nice too. So just depends. Let's see here. IBG is saying, Big J, thanks for being faithful and putting this chat up every Wednesday evening. Hey, man, thank you. And they're like going forward, there might be a couple where I, might have to miss, depending. I'm going to try not to. Just, till I get this new grind down. But I've been trying to, y'all are the reason. Like I said, y'all motivate me to do these, and I really enjoy it. Got a great family here, and definitely means a lot. Appreciate y'all listening to me, put it that way. Armson saying, always in prayer. Glad you're back to bossing people around. No, y'all don't know me personally, but no, I'm a very, very fair person. Very fair person. Polymer stock might be a chassis for the aesthetic. Chassis have their benefits. depending on the caliber, if it's 308, whatever it might be, that adds more weight. Better on recoil stabilization. Also floats the barrel better. Some of the polymer actually touches the barrel, which can screw up your harmonics. So you can take a dollar bill and you can run it over the barrel and run it all the way down the chassis to make sure that it's free floated. I have seen people that said they are free floated, and you run the dollar bill between, like loop it at the front of the barrel and run it all the way back, and it rubs the shit out of the stock. So those are not truly free floated. It can, screw up their harmonics a little bit. You put in a true free floated chassis, you will notice the difference as far as your accuracy on some of them. Not saying all of them. Thanks, Young Guns, man. I really, like I said, I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all just don't know. It was really crappy there for a while. And it wasn't that I was struggling with money or any of that. Please don't take it that way. It's just, man, it just feels like you got hit by a truck and you're just getting beat down and you're just like, what the hell is going on, man? So it's just, it just kind of beats on your mind for a while. Joseph is saying, for appendix carry, how much additional peace of mind should one have with a manual safety? I run 2011's appendix. I run, striker fire. I run double action, single action. If you're concerned, I will say this, or if you're new to appendix carry and you kind of have that little feeling in your mind, you just don't feel comfortable. You just got that, man, I don't want to blow my junk off. Okay, with a manual safety, you flip the safety up and the slide's not going to come back on most single action guns. So you're good there. Some have a grip safety and a manual safety. So you've got two pieces of mind. I always pin my grip safeties because I hate grip safeties, but that's me. Striker fire, if it's a lighter trigger, it is what it is. With double action, single action, okay, you've got a hammer that's popped back. So as you're putting it in your holster, you can put your thumb on the back of the hammer. If you feel the hammer pull back, something's in the trigger guard. So when you're loading it in, you got your thumb on the hammer, you're putting it in, the hammer's not moving, the trigger's not going to go off. The hammer starts coming back, something is in that trigger. So that gives you an extra peace of mind. What I always recommend, especially to newer people, you've got your holster here and you're facing in a safe direction. Your gun's loaded, you've racked it, you've done your decocker, you've flipped on your manual safety, you're putting the gun in your holster so that the trigger is completely covered. Then you're taking the whole unit while it's in the holster and you're putting it in your pants. You're going to take it out for one reason and one reason only, to use it. Then you're, going to clear it. You're going to put it back in. If you're practicing with it, you're going to draw it, bang, bang, bang. You're going to lift your shirt up. You're going to look it in, make sure you're good to go. So that's about the safest you can be. I prefer appendix. That's the way I carry. I've carried at the 4 o'clock, for a long time, even when I was bigger. And this is another thing, if you have a big belly or whatever, and you're like, I can't do it, don't knock it till you try it. I'm not the smallest guy in the world. I've got tactical love handles. So I am not fit as a fiddle by any means. Hello, Fina. How are you? Yes, I enjoy you too. Dennis is saying, I kind of know what you're going through. I got injured on the job in July, had surgery January 3rd. Still no word from doctors when I can return to work. Man, Dennis, dude, I will definitely say a prayer for you, man. That's awful. Yeah, and I mean, I don't wish that stuff on anybody. So please be safe, man. Hope you get better soon and you can get back to the grind if you're able to, man. But and like I said, I get people that reach out to me, say, hey, man, pray for me. I'm going through some tough times. Dude, I will. I mean, I don't act like a religious person, but I believe, so, and trust me, I was doing a lot of praying between all of this mess too. So, it helps to have a lot of people on your side. So I will definitely pray for you, Dennis. But we'll jump off this evening. I appreciate everyone, each and every one of y'all. Y'all just don't know. Got a little special part right here for you. But if y'all need anything, please reach out. Or if you're going through a tough time, reach out and just say, man, talk to me. I mean, I'm here for you. I've already fixed 2 cars recently. Uh, People reached out to me, emailed me, and I fixed 2 cars pretty much over the phone. So, I mean, I try to help people when I can, not just with gun stuff, but, with life stuff. Not that I've experienced everything, but like I said, man, if I can lend an ear, I'm here to help out. So, y'all have a great night. Tune over to Chris's chat if you want to, and we will do this again next Wednesday. Y'all be safe out there. And remember, an armed nation's a very weak nation. So, y'all got to carry on. Take care, everyone. Thanks so much.